Hello and welcome to the September Young Adult Book Talk. My name is Miss Stephanie and I'm one of the children's librarians here at Madison Regional Library. And today I have three books that are talking about survival. Very different books, but all just discussing teens just trying to survive in extreme circumstances. So the first one we're going to talk about is Trapped by Michael Northrop. And this is about a blizzard that no one was gonna know. It kept snowing for a week. And you have the characters of Scotty and his friends Pete and Jason are among 7 kids who are left at school and they waiting to get picked up, but they soon realize that no one is coming for them. And it just keeps snowing. But they don't think at first, oh, it's not so bad to spend the night at school. But then the power goes out. And then the heat. And then the pirates freeze, and they can't get a cell phone signal, so then they have to figure out a way to escape the high school before they freeze to death. And overall, I liked this book a lot, and I thought it was, tense and being, it was a little on the short side, but it was very tense, things seem like it's just like a normal sleepover at a high school, but then when things start to get cut out and people start to get hungry and cold as the days go on, it just gets really tense. The characters are pretty good. I wish there was a little more relationship development between them, but I like how they were planning the different escapes, and I just it's a quick read and it's very effective, and if you like a quick survival story, you're gonna really enjoy this book. The second book I have today is When We Were Lost by Kevin Wignall, and this is about a plane crash in the Amazon. And what happens is Tom Calloway, he was going on a field trip with his friends and he didn't want to go, but then suddenly their plane crashed in Costa Rica. And he sat in the back and it was the only part of the plane that was intact. And he has a small group of his classmates who are surviving, but their luck is quickly running out as they're dealing with threats like jungle animals and heat and all sorts of other dangers, and even perhaps some mysterious people that they don't know about. And as the days go on, their desperation grows and things get more perilous. And just before I don't want to spoil the book for you, but it's a very, very gripping, intense read. And I think my favorite part about this book is the main character of Tom Calloway, who's shy and he's reserved and he's not someone that you would expect to be a leader, but he really grew into his role and just taking command and charge without being overbearing and just working with his friends even though they suffer loss and just creating a great group dynamic to help them get through this crisis. So I think it's the author did a great job of making the characters very interesting, even the ones that don't show up for very long. And so it's just a great read to see how a bunch of teenagers survive a plane crash. And then the last book that I have today is called Dry, and this is by Neal and Jarrod Shusterman. And before I continue, this is a Virginia Reader's Choice, and while I did like all 3 of these books, I do have to say this one was my favorite of the batch. And because it takes a scenario, water, something we take for granted, but then what happens when you run out of it? And so the author is taking a fascinating but terrifying look at this scenario. And the story takes place in Southern California, and the bordering state officials have shut down dams along the rivers, cutting their water supply. And so the residents in this suburb are calling it the tap out. And the book follows several characters' perspectives and handles this crisis. And I like how it's 5 characters, so you get a lot of different perspectives, but it's not so confusing you don't figure out who is what. The main characters are Alyssa, her brother Garrett, her neighbor Kelton, Jackie, who's a homeless girl bent on survival, and Henry, who's a teenager with a mysterious and yet self-serving agenda. And when Alyssa and Garrett's parents disappear on the trip to find more water, these teenagers band together to find them and they try to survive in the process. And this story was so gripping, every word, he paced it very well, the story was moving, but it was every detail counted, and you could just feel the tension building as the water bottles and the water supplies left out. And I just like the different characters' perspectives because the crisis brought out the best and the worst in them, and it's just fascinating to see how characters can view this situation very differently. And the ending was wrapped up a little too neatly for me, but it was still a very good and satisfying conclusion. So I would definitely highly recommend this one for survival or even kind of dystopian type of reading as well. So, all right, well, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed my book talk. If you want to have any of these books to read, you can put them on hold in our catalog, and the website will be at the end of this video. And I look forward to sharing more books with you soon, and happy reading!